Hello and welcome everyone. This is Race on Oz. It's Pan Am today. It's the PC League. It's Season 2, Round 7. It's the finale of the winter season. We're going to be going around Barcelona to finish the season off. My name is Nick and I'm going to be taking you through this race, this round's proceedings. So whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are, welcome. It's definitely afternoon where I am right now. So we're not too far away from getting qualifying underway to set the grid for the finale. But while we wait for that, let's have a quick look at how the standings are looking going into the final round of the season. So the AM division, that's pretty much all sewn up. So for ARL Racing, so that's Christopher Shuffler and Joshua Piasic. For ARL Racing Team, they can't be beaten right now, so they will take out the AM division. In terms of the Pro-Am, though, it is a little bit different. So you've got the Pan Am Racing, that's car number 912. So the Porsche Pan Am Racing Team, 196, 32 points ahead of the ZR boys in the 144 Mercedes AMG there as well. So it's 36 points for a race victory. So, well, to finish first in class. So that championship is still not decided as of yet. Then you got the Porsche 194. That's currently sitting in third position on 158 there. So the podium not entirely set there. They've got Tired Ass Dads, who did take out a class win last time around at Spa. So those guys have put their hand up for contention as well. So we'll see how they all go. You've got Low Life in P5, then Lexusy. So they've been quite fastest in free practice so far. It's a very damp Barcelona circuit right now. So the Lexus proving to be kind to the wet conditions there. Then you've got ARL Racing, Speed Cats, Pan Am Racing. That's the 888. McLaren and Tris and Chris there in the number 21 Porsche as well, rounding out the top 10. Let's have a quick look at the Pro Division. So car 777, they're currently leading in the Honda there. 206 is the score that they're on right now. 22 points ahead of the Pan Am Racing Porsche. That's Gage Gonzalez and Matt. That's not Gage Gonzalez and Matt Arant. Sorry, that's they're in the Honda. So the Porsche 123. So that is the Honda 123, 184. So those guys took out the win last time around. The boys in the 777 Porsche for Fusion Racing, they've got a fight on their hands to take out the championship today. Then the 911 Porsche is 34 points behind the Honda there. So two Hondas at the top and a Porsche for the podium right now. But AMR Venom Racing, they took out second last time around in Spa. They're sitting there only 4 points behind. And then the International Treaty of Racing that has Nathan Wilson in there, and the other driver in that car is Matt Devine. Yep, so they will be looking to try and move themselves a little bit further up the ladder. So podium still to play for those guys. Fusion Racing Team, Lloyd Competizione had a good outing last time around. They took home P3, and then ZR Boys on 114, and Madmen rounding out the field on 56 points. Let's take a quick look at the track here. So we are going around the 16 turn 4.65 kilometer circuit. I'm not too sure how far that is in miles. But yeah, going to be an interesting track. 8 right-hand turns, 8 left-hand turns. It's usually the left-hand side of the car does end up doing a lot of work, especially with the constant gradient turns of turn 3, turn 4 in there as well. And then at the end of the lap, the left-hand side of the car gets quite a workout with 12 and 13, and then coming through 15 and 16 onto the main straight. So can be quite challenging on tyres. Probably see overtaking opportunities into turn 1, usually where you see a fair bit of action. Turn 10 as well. Traffic can be a bit of an issue around here, but we've only got 13 cars in the field. Obviously, all cars have 2 drivers in there, so I don't think we'll see too many dramas with that this round. So, just having a quick look here. So, it looks like the server might be resetting, so I'll just have to get that sorted. So, just sit tight. We're not far away from getting this one all set up and ready to go. Alright, we'll just get back in there. So sit tight. AJS 912 will not be running today as I'm away. Alright, there you go. So the 912 Porsche.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Not racing. And we're back in the server. I think we've just got to wait for everyone to come back in. And we'll get this thing up and running again. Alright, so we've just got to wait for everyone to come back into the lobby, and we shouldn't be too far from getting this one started. So just sit tight. We will be back very, very shortly to get this one underway. Alright, so we've got almost everyone back in here. Looks like we've got 12. Might be just waiting for one more car to come back in. So hopefully that's not too far away. And we can get this one started. So it is raining. I'll give you a quick look at live pictures if you like. So here we are. So there we go. We've got all 13 cars now back by the looks of things. I think the ZR boys are out in this race as well. So Pro-Am standings are looking like they're locked in. All right. Well, there you go. So car 144 not racing today. 912 and 194, the top 3 for Pro-Am. It's a non-event today. They won't be racing, so that's all locked in. So we'll just makes it a little bit easy for us. We'll just lock in on the top 3 for the Pro division as well. Makes my job a little bit easier for everyone to follow. Here we go. Here's some sort of communications. Here we go. Alright, so just rounding up some stragglers at the moment. By the looks of things, we've got 14 in here now. Alright, so I wouldn't imagine we'll be too far away from getting this one started. So the rain is definitely going to add a little bit of spice here in terms of this one. It's great from a viewing perspective because I think this game really turns it on in terms of the rain effect in here, and the pictures coming back are pretty awesome. So from a commentating perspective, it's fantastic. From a racing perspective, probably not so much for the drivers. Have quite a few Nervous drivers out there just waiting for proceedings to get started. Having a look at the chat. A few encouraging a rain dance so it doesn't rain. Not too sure. It looks like the weather forecasted here is the next 10 minutes the rain should probably stop. Here we go, and look at that. Voila,
Green light. Go,
like
go,
that.
go.
The rain has stopped, and we are going to begin qualifying momentarily. Here we go. All right, cool. It's going to be Retro Coffin. He's driving with John Cannon, who's in the car. In fact, not Retro, it's John. So 145's in the wet. Looks like dry conditions are probably going to persist for now. Track is green, 23 degrees air temperature. Track is 24 degrees. 9 a.m. in game time. Carlos Rivadeneira in the 777 Honda. He's making his way out onto the track. Jimmy is about to come out in his pink Aston Martin. I think he's with Bradley today. Yep, he is. There you go. Gage Gonzalez making his way out as well. That's Matt Arantz, in fact, in the car by the looks of things. We'll have to wait for it to go through the first sector for it to give us the accurate reading. But you get the picture, right? Here's this is Chris Thomas. Not too sure if I've seen that name before. Chris Thomas, who's he racing with? Sean Vincent in the McLaren. That's the McLaren Shadow Project livery by the looks of things out there. He's our AM Championship leader and will not be kicked off that perch today. So Christopher Shuffler and Joshua Piasek, they were quite fast in free practice in the wet, as was Lud Flores as well. This is Damien Sig. Love this livery. Obviously the F1 inspired livery there. Very, very nicely presented car. So that's Damien Sig and Graham Pinkston, and straight back to the pits. So he's just getting himself sorted. Here's Eric Lloyd. He's teaming. Oh, we've got a few guys having a couple of issues to begin with. But this is Retro, so he was the first car out. Let's see how he goes. He'll be the first cab off the rank to set the fastest time. It's going through the left-hander of turn 5 now. Heads down the hill into this tricky left-hand, right-hand combination corner. Got to be careful not to go too far out there on the sausage curbs. You can also invalidate your lap at that part of the circuit. Turn 9, the fast right-hander. Often see a little bit of action there, usually later in the race. Can catch a few drivers out. Another hard braking zone here into turn 10, the left-hander. This track has actually had a lot of changes in this sector in particular. Obviously not represented in the game as of yet, but in real life, a lot of changes have happened through here to help just encourage some more overtaking. This whole sector, in fact, this whole combination has been removed. Going back to the original form of the circuit, I do believe that was added in for safety concerns, but being taken out as Retro Coffin closes on the line. That's a 146 flat is his best time right now. This is Berea. He's looking to set another time. P6 for now. Matt Devine. These guys were pretty quick in free practice. Very unlucky last round out in Spa. Were on for a good result, but was snuffed out pretty quickly there. So they'll be looking to make up for it. Nathan Wilson, not too sure how much driving he's going to be doing. Probably watching the Bathurst 12-hour right now, I dare say, as he watches his teammate go to the top of the times. Here's I'm Not Jimmy in that bright pink Aston Martin. You can't miss it. Let's see where he comes out as the time's starting to filter through now. 15-minute qualifying session. He goes up into P2. Good result for him so far. Here's Chris Thomas in the McLaren. 1:45.7 is the time to beat. What does he do? He goes up into P6, so not a bad result from him. What about Kenneth Smith in the number 99, the AMR Venom Aston Martin? He's racing with Rodney Felker. Let's see what he has right now. How close can he get to that 1:45.7? Not too bad up there in P5. This is Stefano Barea in the 777 Honda, our championship leader. 206 points, 22 clear of the Pan Am Racing 123 Honda belonging to Matt Arantz and Gage Gonzalez. So they're currently P4 right now. Stefano Barea goes to the top of the timetable. So nice start from him. Here's Steve Sky in the 194 Porsche, making his way across the line. Good enough for P8. Nice work from him. And Damien Sigg looks like he's managed to get himself together. I saw him just have a little bit of a false start to this qualifying session. Let's see what he can do in the Ferrari. I do believe it's the sole Ferrari in the field. Here we go. The 444 crosses the line. And might have invalidated that one. So I should have picked that up earlier. Here's Eric Lloyd. Good enough for P11. Who else is on a valid lap? This is Barea. As we go on board with him. Just fighting the understeer there through turn 9, trying to get the car to turn in. Down into first gear here. Rotate the car through. Stay away from the sausage curbs there. Using the inside of the curb. Just upset the car a little bit. And then this tricky series of corners. Left and the right, and you're almost home. Runs the car a little bit wide there. Opens up the corner for the optimal run. This is looking pretty good right now, and he improves on his time at 44 flat. So nice work from him. Track has gone from green to fast, so they're all over it. Here's Steve Sky, currently sitting in P9 right now, and that is where he will remain right now. In fact, drops down into P10. So, drops down a spot there. Matt Devine in the Audi. He's up on his best time. Doesn't improve enough to move up in position. So, he's starting there from P3 for now. Well, we've got another, just a tick under 7 minutes remaining in this session. That's enough for Chris Thomas to try and improve. He's currently sitting in P12 in the 888 McLaren. Making his way through 14 and 15 now for the run onto the front straight through turn 16. Those left-hand tyres will be screaming right now. Get a nice cool down the straight and moves himself up into P11. So not a bad result for him. A couple of other guys out there. Barea, Coffin. Quite a lot of invalidated laps right now. This man here, he hasn't invalidated his lap. This is Kenneth Smith, currently P10. Right now for AMR Venom Racing. He's up on his best time by about half a second, and it shows on the time, so he goes up into P5. So nice work from him. I'm Not Jimmy. He's up on his best time right now by only about 2/10 now. Looking to gain position on Christopher Shuffle there, the number 44, sitting in 8th position, and he does. He goes into P7. Shuffler gets shuffled down into P9. Here's Steve Sky. This is a valid lap. Lots of invalidated laps out there right now. Not this one though. The 194 Porsche. Making its way on the front straight for the run to the line. He's about 4/10 up on his best time. That moves him up into P10. So nice work from him. Here's Damien Sig. He's currently sitting in 8th position right now, chasing down I'm Not Jimmy, who just put that lap in to get that time. He's just a tick under 2/10, about 2/10 up on his best time. Damien Sig. So can he wind that Ferrari up, move himself up a position or two? He does. Goes up into P5. So very nice work from him. Here's Retro Coffin. The gap at the front, it's 8/10 the difference between our leader and everyone else right now. Retro Coffin's in P2. So we go on board with him, making his way through turn 9. Nice and smooth. Porsche rides the curbs nice and well there. The Honda wasn't as compliant as the Porsche is through there. Really the secret to this track as well is using every single inch available to you, or every single increment of 25 millimeters for all us Australians and everyone else pretty much across the world. As Retro Coffin is got to improve on his time, but it's not good enough to snatch pole position away right now. Christopher Shuffler, he will remain there in P9 for now. What about Damien Sig? He's only up ever so slightly on his best time right now, but they're all chasing one man. It's Stefano Barrea, 144 flat around this Barcelona circuit. That's a pretty rapid time around here. Let's see what he's got in the Ferrari. I don't think he's really going to improve enough on his time anyway to move up the grid any further. This man might though. Chris Thomas, currently sitting in P12. His best time is, where are you? I'll get to that in a moment. He's up on his best time anyway, so he's going to replace that right now by quite a margin too. He goes up into P8, so that McLaren starting to come into its own. Matt Arantz, good enough for P9 right now. So we're into the final few minutes here of qualifying as Matt Devine doesn't improve enough on his time, so still sitting there in P3 right now. I'm Not Jimmy. Good run for him and Brad Lee. They're looking like they're going to have a nice starting position here. Currently sitting P4. He's not up on his best time right now, so it doesn't look like he is going to improve. That will follow to the end, and no, he doesn't improve. So still there in P4 right now, but it's Stefano Barrea, Retro Coffin, Matt Devine, I'm Not Jimmy, and Lud Flores. That's your top 4 right now. Stefano just finished a 1 hour and 90-minute race, and now it's racing here in P1. You are a machine, Stefano. So Danval 37 in the chat, just letting us know Stefano Barrea is a driving machine right now. And he's in some very, very nice form. So less than 2 minutes left in qualifying. This is season 2, round 7 of Pan Am Racing, the winter season. It's the finale. Car 777, 123 and 911. They're the cars that we want to be keeping an eye on right now. They're occupying P1, 2 and 8 as we speak. With less than 90 seconds left in this qualifying session, we're on board here with Chris Thomas. Can he improve on his time? I don't think he can. No, so he will stay there for now. Here's Matt Devine. I don't think Nathan Wilson's been in the car. He's watching Bathurst 12 Hour right now. And Devine doesn't improve enough to move up into the top 3. So sitting there in P4 right now. Here's Chris Rise in the Lamborghini. Let's see what he can do. He's up significantly on his best time. Sitting in P9, not for much longer though. That should have gone through at a 146.8, but hasn't moved up there. I don't think it was an invalid lap. Anyway, here's Drew Stanley. He put in a good effort in Spa towards the very end there. So for Tired Ass Dads, they did take the Pro-Am win there in Spa, and he moves himself up into P7. So nice lap from him. This is Steve Sky. He's not going to improve on his time right now. Matt Devine looks like he's the furthest along at the moment, with Berea, Coffin and Flores our top three. They're all in the pits as we go 000. So Christopher Shuffler is going to be the first of the last drivers to finish this qualifying session. He is almost a tenth up on his best time. It's going to be pretty tight as he makes his way just through the final handful of turns here. He's chasing down Lud Flores, the number 14 Lexus. This might be close if he can gain a bit of time through there, but he does the opposite. He loses time, in fact. So I don't think he is going to improve on his time. No, he doesn't. So they'll start from P4 right now as we sit. Here's Kenneth Smith. He is struggling to improve on his time right now. In fact, he's marginally down. So that Ferrari looks like it's pretty safe for now as he makes his way towards the line. And that looks like it's going to be qualifying. All done. Chris Rise goes into the pit. So Stefano Berea, the 777 Honda, sits atop of the times in P1. Retro Coffin, the 911 Porsche in P2. The number 14 Lexus in P3. The 16 Audi in 4th. The 69 Aston Martin in 5th. The 123 Honda there, Matt Arantz in P6. So that's for our championship. The 777, the 123, and the 911 Porsche there, all in the championship hunt right now as we go further down the order there. Stanley Smith Pinkston in the Ferrari. I believe he's still out there. There he is. Thomas, Shuffler, Skyrise, and Chamont. Who's that with? Chamont and Merlin Travail. I'm not too sure if I've heard those drivers before. A couple of gold drivers. So there you go, something new for today. But anyway, that is our grid. It's all set. This is the round 7 of the winter season number 2 for Pan Am Racing. Our grid is set. We are not far away from the race beginning. We will be back very, very shortly.
There is some rain in this session, so watch out for slippery curves and remember to brake earlier.
Alright, welcome back everyone. Where are we? There it is. Cool. So, let's put it on the helicam. This is our grid. So less than a minute left. But it's the 777 Honda of Carlos Rivadeneira and a Stefano Barrea sitting on pole position right now. John Cannon and Retro Coffin in the 911 Porsche there in P2. And then Lud Flores and Curtis Ruston in the number 14 Lexus as the top three. Matt Devine and Nathan Wilson, they're going to be starting from P4 in this number 16 Audi, the international treaty for motorsports and between Australia and America, or whatever it is, the longest team name you've ever heard of. I'm Not Jimmy in the number 69 Aston Martin with Brad Lee. We'll be starting there in P5. Gage Gonzalez in the 123 Honda. It'll be Gage Gonzalez and Matt Arantz from 6. Drew Stanley and John Rohrer in the 111 Honda. Starting from 7th. 8th, Kenneth Smith and Rodney Felker. 9th is Damien Sieg and Graham Pinkston in the 444 Ferrari. Chris Thomas and Sean Vincent in the 888 McLaren. RAM champion Christopher Shuffler and Joshua Piasek in the number 44 Aston Martin. In the 194 Porsche, it's Steve Sky and Stu Skinner. And then 13th, it's Chris Rise and Eric Lloyd in the number 9 Lamborghini as they make their way off the starting grid. And it looks like it's going to be raining for at least the next half an hour minimum, according to the weather forecast there that I can see on my screen. So this is going to be super spicy start. 13 car field though, so it's not necessarily a recipe for mayhem, and it's a fairly long run to the start, to turn 1 as well, so it gives them enough time to just sort themselves out. There's plenty of room down there as well, so should be able to get through there without too many dramas. We don't see too much craziness happening in Pan Am races usually, but we will hold our breath though, as they're all just making their way on the formation lap there. And you can see what I was talking about, just in terms of the textures on the track, the reflection of light, the spray. The game really does do it justice. Even as the light from the clouds as well, the reflections on there as they're going through. So yeah, from a visual perspective, delightful. But then when you go from the helicopter down, this is what they're going to be dealing with. As we're on board with Lud Flores, who's going to be starting from P3 in that Lexus. So not as a big of an issue. He's got his full enduro lights set up on, as Matt Devine and Nathan Wilson, they're going to start from number 4, 16 Audi. As we're almost done with the warm-up lap here. It's just a bit of shenanigans there. We'll get the signal now to start pairing up side by side. Lights ablaze everywhere. This is going to be some good stuff here as we catch up with the front runners. So Barrea and Coffin, this is for the championship right now. The 911 Porsche sits in P3. The 777 is in first. It's 36 points the difference between those two. And the 123 Honda down in P6. That's your top 3 for the championship. Lights go green. Let's go racing. It looks like it's a pretty good start. And all staying nice and orderly for the run down into turn 1. As they all filter down there now. And not looking like too many drivers. Barrea's got a cracking start though. Oh no, who was that? That was Was that one of the Hondas? I think it might have been Matt Arantz. A little bit of contact there, but nothing too serious. And looks like they've all been able to make their way through without any dramas. Oh, I think I saw a little bit of action there in the back. So Arantz all over the back of the number 16 Audi, the Racing Treaty Audi. As they're making their way through turn 5 now, the left-hander down the short run down the hill. But everyone facing the right way, which is good. It's what you want to see. As Arantz, this is his view from inside the cockpit, chasing down the number 16 Audi. That's got Matt Devine in there right now. Looking to put a move on into turn 10 up the inside. The left-hander will have a nice run here, but the 16 Audi just going to be able to fight back, retake that position. You've got a feeling this is not over yet. So they're making their way through the right-hander of 12. Stay with these two, that's for sure. This is looking like it's going to be a nice little battle as Lud Flores just climbing all over the sausage curbs as he's making his way through the chicane of 14 and 15. And now Arantz. Look at the spray. This is what he's got to contend with as they complete the first lap of the race. Pulls out of the draft, out of the spray as well. Looks to send it up the inside. Oh, that was a nice move. Kenny managed to pull it off here. It's still going to be a fight into turn 3, the long left-hander. And I think he might have done it. Devine not giving it up without a fight. Kenneth Smith there just lurking in the background, looking to pick up any scraps that might fall his way. The 16 Audi just runs a little bit deep there into turn 4. Repsol, but looks like he manages to pull that up nicely as well. So that was Matt Arantz moves into P4, and the 16 Audi drops down into P5. But it's it's Stefano Barea in the 777 Honda leading the way from Coffin Flores. That's your top 3 at the moment. As we're having a look at Devine here. He's got Kenneth Smith in the AMR Aston Martin, the AMR Venom Aston Martin, chasing him down. So you'll be looking to pour the pressure on the number 16 Audi here. You can see on screen. Field still relatively compressed, which is good to see. We've got a nice little scrap down here as well. So this is Pinkston. He's teamed with Damien Sig. He's in P12. So, he runs a little bit wide through there, just into the chicane, and loses a spot to Drew Stanley. And he will find himself falling a little bit further back down the pack for now. In the meantime, Kenneth Smith chasing down Matt Devine in the Audi. So they file into turn 1. Rain continuing on. Track is obviously wet. Air temperature's 29. Track temperature's air temperature's 25. Track temperature's 29. And looks like this rain is going to be quite persistent. Not looking to go anywhere for at least the next half an hour plus, which is on the radar at this stage. Looks like Steve Sky in the background there as well. Looking to have a little go there at the Aston Martin. The number 69 Aston Martin. On to I'm Not Jimmy in there right now. His teammate Brad Lee will be watching on intently. So you can see that spray just adding another level of difficulty here, as if it wasn't hard enough already. Barea's just skipped away here. It's 4 seconds the gap between him and Retro Coffin. So he's doing it pretty easy right now. Still very, very early stages of this one. So this is Steve Sky chasing down Jimmy. Gap starting to open up a little bit now. The rain is the great equaliser, but it's a Honda, Porsche, Lexus top three. And Berea just continuing to eke out that lead right now. 4.4 seconds is the gap. So we've got a bit of cheering for Stefano Berea in there. Not too sure how to pronounce that person's username, so I'll just leave that one well alone. There's Jimmy giving chase to Kenneth Smith, but he's got to keep one eye behind him as well. He's got Steve Sky for company. So they're making their way through turn 3. Might get back to that little scrap as well that we were watching earlier on with Arantz and Lud Flores in the number 14 Lexus. 4.8 seconds now, the gap between Berea and Coffin. Let's have a look at lap times here. So last lap around, Berea did a 54.6. His best has been a 54.2. Looks like it was an invalidated lap as well. So we might even see some of that coming into play today. I will try and keep an eye on that as much as I can for everyone. So I might just have a quick look at Arantz here. He's all over the back of the number 14 Lexus with Lud Flores in it. Got a yellow flag. So, this is Chris Rise. What happened, Chris? Let's have a quick look. Oh, that's not a good camera angle. Here we go. This is a replay. Just trying to pick up what happened to him here. Oh, he just got on the that green AstroTurf and big hit in the wall. The little bonnet there popped up, and that's never a good sign. It's usually indication of some pretty severe damage. So he's going to have to limp that back. Looks like Drew Stanley for the Tired Dad team as well. He might have had a little bit of a hiccup somewhere too. So I'm not too sure what happened to him. As Arantz, we pick him up as he makes a little bit of contact with the 14 Lexus. That's Lud Flores. And the 123 Honda is in contention for the championship. Currently sitting P2. Not too sure if he would have picked up too much damage there. Currently sitting in P4 right now. As the Lexus making its way through turn 4, so not too sure. Can't really see anything on the car that would indicate too much damage. We'll go on board. We'll see if we can get a bit more insight here. Oh, Flores. Oh, no! Oh, he's going around! We'll just try and pick that up again. Go from the helicam. We're on board with Arantz. Here we go. This is where it happened. So Flores just didn't get as good a run out of there, and a little bit of contact and bang into the wall. So Flores has dropped down into P8 after that. So not a great start there for him. Only 10 minutes into the race, so plenty of time to make it up, but obviously not a position that you want to find yourself in at this stage. Get back to the action though. Still a Stefano Berea in the 777 Honda leading the way from Retro Coffin in P2. Arantz, as we're watching Kenneth Smith just get a little bit loose there out of the final turn. It's going to be a drag race now. The Porsche versus Aston Martin down the front straight. I'm Not Jimmy, Steve Sky. Who's going to be the latest of the late breakers? Who's got the better setup here? Looks like Jimmy is able to tuck it in nicely into turn 1. Steve Sky's not going to give up on it. The Aston Martin just with a slight horsepower advantage up the front straight. He's able to maintain P6. back to more action. So this is the 99 Aston Martin, Kenneth Smith, AMR Venom Racing, chasing down the number 16 Treaty Audi. Currently has Matt Devine piloting right now. So having a look at lap times, the last lap time for Devine, 56.8, 56.5 to Kenneth Smith. So 3/10 the advantage on that previous lap. So the Aston definitely has the pace to match the Audi right now. Air temperature's 24, track temperature's still 29. The Audi runs wide there, out of turn 10. Not enough to give up any kind of advantage to that Aston as that red 99 hunting him down. His rear view mirror with full of the front bonnet of that rather wide Aston Martin. Here we go, it's a drag race down the front straight. I don't think there's going to be any action there. Is there going to be action here? Oh yes, so they swapped positions, so Steve Sky and I'm not Jimmy. Let's see how that happened. Looks like the Porsche got just better traction out of 14 into 15. Ooh, was there a little bit of contact? They both all ran quite wide. The Porsche got a couple of wheels on the off the AstroTurf onto the dirt there, so lucky to hold on to that, but that position has changed. So Steve Sky in the 194 Porsche moves himself up into P6, drops the 69 Aston Martin down into 7th. They'll continue their battle out in front though. The 777 Honda, Stefano Barrea for Fusion Racing, our championship leader in the final round, is in the optimal position right now for them to take out this championship. His last lap around was a 156.2, so pace has just settled down a little bit for him, but still one of the fastest cars out there on circuit. So pace is looking good and they'd be right on target for what they want to complete today. The 911 Porsche, they're 34 points behind the 123 Honda of Matt Arantz and Gage Gonzalez. So they've got they're in it to win it right now, but not looking like climbing up that 34 points required. Long way to go still 76 and a half minutes in this 90-minute sprint. But we've got a nice little battle here. Matt Devine doing a good job. Oh, that was the Aston, got quite squirrely out of 15. That's cost him a whole chunk of time. As we're watching from the rear of the number 16 Audi. Oh, what's happened here? Drew Stanley has he had a bit of an issue. Just follow this along. This is a replay. So can't see anything here. I saw a yellow flag next to his name, but it looks like it's going to be... Oh, yeah, there we go. So just around there by himself, and that's all good. Devine now making a bit of ground on Arantz, who that last lap around had a 57.2. Devine did a 56.3. Smith behind him did a 56.7. So I think Arantz might have had just a little bit of an off there on that last lap around. Don't think it's an issue with damage or anything like that. And so Devine though is going to try and take advantage of it. This is the closest battle that we've got so far. I'm not Jimmy and Steve Sky. They're battling it out. Pinkston and Chris Rice down there in 11th and 12th. So we've got a couple of little scraps happening amongst the top 5 and also amongst the bottom few as well right now. But the first quarter hour has passed. Good to see that everyone's still running right now, or 13 cars. Oh, did we have 14? I think we had 14. There's a couple of names that I've not seen before. Can't really see them now either. Alright, there we go. So we're looking from the rear of the 123 Honda of Matt Arantz. That's Devine just pulling out of the spray to get a clearer look. Looks like he was a little bit nervous under braking at the rear of the car, but it might just be the current conditions on the circuit. Looks like Drew Stanley. Oh, that's an off. Let's see how that came about. Oh, we saw him having trouble through here before. And I think he might have run wide at turn 15, judging by where we picked him up. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. And, oh, almost. And quite gently into the barrier there. So not too bad for him. It looked like it was a nice little battle between Rise and Pinkston there. This is 10th and 11th. These two going at it right now. Let's get back to Smith and Devine. This is P4, P5. So, was Arantz able to sort of right the ship on that last lap? 57.9, that last one around from Arantz. A 57.4 belonging to Devine, and a 57.5 to Kenneth Smith. So, yeah, Arantz, I wonder if, we did see that contact earlier in the race. I think that was with the 14 as Lud Flores has a little bit of an off there at, I think that's 7 and 8 he was at, yeah. And he looks like he's up and running again. Steve Sky just starting to sneak up on these two. A 56.7 was his last time. He's 1.2 seconds back. Jimmy a 57.4. See, these times are flowing in again. So Arantz looks like he's righted the ship. So a 56.4 that last lap around. So I don't think that that 123 Honda has any issues at this stage. Stanley and Pinkston going at it in 11th and 12th. I've seen both of these cars having a couple of little issues already, and they swap positions. So Drew Stanley for Tired Ass Dad's car, 111. Oh, sliding the rear end of that Honda through turn 15, and Graham Pinkston there in 12th as well. Here's Kenneth Smith still all over the back of that number 16 Audi. Currently has Devine piloting it. Stefano Barea, last lap around was a 55.5 to give you an idea of the pace. The only other driver in the 55s was Steve Sky in the 194 Porsche, who's currently P6 and is chasing down this man that we have on screen there. You can see him in the background there, followed by the number 69 Aston Martin belonging to I'm Not Jimmy right now. Brad Lee will be hopping in that later on in this race. And these two, bit of a stalemate right now between Devine and Smith. Both lapping very, very similar times. Oh, as we see the Aston just running a little bit deep. Just through 14. I wonder if he might come under attack here from the Porsche. Doesn't look like it. You can hear that very distinctive note of the V8 and the Aston Martin. We're looking from the rear wing. So no changes of position there to a general hotspot on the circuit. Might give us a quick chance to have a look at this man. We haven't had him on screen very much. It's 8.4 seconds is the gap between him and the 911 Porsche belonging to Retro Coffin at the moment. But this man here seems to be doing it quite easy despite the inclement conditions. He's He's getting plenty of love in the chat right now. So I thought I might just put him on the screen. Give everyone a look at how he's doing it. Oh, a rant! No! This has got championship implications. What happened? We're watching a replay right now. He's got the left blinker on. I don't know if that's intentional. It doesn't look like it at this stage. Oh, this was going into 10. He just got on the grass a little bit there. And, oh, did the Audi hit him? I'm not 100% certain, but that's sitting in P2 in the championship right now. And that is doing nothing more than handing the championship right now to the 777 Honda. Let's have a look at where's the 16. Does it have any damage on the front? It didn't look like it hit it, but I didn't see the car act as if it did. So not too sure if he got away with it or just having a look at the front there. Can't really see any damage. No. Obviously that would have had an effect on the lap times, but the bonnet's not flapping around in the breeze, which is usually a pretty clear indicator that there's significant damage. But nonetheless, he's going to have his hands full with Kenneth Smith in the 99 Aston Martin, the AMR Venom Aston Martin. So he's coming through the right-hander, turn 4. And I think he's going to find it quite difficult to keep the Aston Martin behind him at this stage. There's Kenneth Smith having a look now. Steve Sky, he's just waiting in the background. So is I'm Not Jimmy in the 69 Aston Martin. A lot more chat. Danville 37, yeah, Stefano is definitely a driving machine. Yes, he is. He's cruising right now. These wet weather conditions aren't really providing him with too much of a challenge at this stage. But the cars we're looking at right now, Kenneth Smith and Matt Devine. So Smith in the 99 Aston Martin, Devine in the number 16 Audi, the green and black Audi, the star of the this week's thumbnail, in fact. Had that on there. It's quite a nice shot. I think that's John Cannon who does those. So looked very impressive on there. So he file through turn 16, the final right-hander. Give those tyres on the left-hand side of the car a bit of a break. Steve Sky just starting to make a bit of a move now. His last lap was a 56.482. And the cars in front were a 57.3 to Kenneth Smith and a 57 flat to Matt Devine. So he's certainly got some pace right now in that 194 Porsche. He's only 6 points behind. Man, I thought the Pro-Am division was all sorted, but it's not looking like it is. So the ZR boys in the 144, they're not racing in the Mercedes, but the 194 Porsche is. So they're looking to take P2 in the Pro-Am Championship. Whoever gave me that information that they weren't racing, they've led me down the garden path. But anyway, it's good to know. Steve Sky, though, is going to make the most of this opportunity. Stu Skinner is his teammate. And he's currently sitting in a top 5 position right now as we speak. Might just drop down here to Drew Stanley for Tired Ass Dads. In the 111 Honda. He's got the number 9 Lamborghini of Chris Rise for Lloyd Competizione. And they're going to battle it out through turn 7 here, the left-hander. Oh, Vincent just ahead of them. Looks like he might have done himself a mischief here. Oh, he's facing the wrong way. Let's see how this pans out here. So what's happened here? No, so Vince Stanley. Sorry, and he's just going around. And I wonder, as we finish the replay now. So he's dropped down into P11. Stanley and Rise have managed to get through there. Probably didn't take it out at the most opportune time. These two are going to continue to battle. Going to take that into turn 13, the right-hander. Oh, and Kenneth Smith and Steve Sky. Steve Sky gets the job done. Let's have a quick look and see how that all came about. I reckon this might be a big moment from Kenneth Smith that opens up the opportunity for Steve Sky to come back from such a long way. It does. The long right-hander at turn 3, and he's able to just cruise past in the Porsche and take away P4 from the AMR Venom Aston Martin. So nice work there. We're back to this little scrap here for 9th and 10th. Stanley takes the advantage out of turn 1 and 2. So the 111 Honda moves itself up into P9 right now. And Smith now will be wanting to try and take that position back from Steve Sky, who's just freshly found himself in P4. The gap out in front, as you can see on the screen there, 9.6 seconds. And Pinkston, oh, what's happened? He's doing some donuts. Oh, that's turn 3. I reckon he's just lost the back end here in the wet conditions. Very, very easy to do in the wet. Just trying to get a turn in, and he's gone out on the dirty stuff, and oh, good save to keep it off the wall. So they certainly do need to change drivers for Danville 37 in the chat. That will be happening around about the halfway mark. There'll be a 10-minute window for driver swaps to be completed. And the championship I'm talking about is the Pro-Am Championship, who's currently car number, the Porsche 912 is on 196 points. They're not racing today, but neither is P2. In P3, though, is the car number 194, the Porsche there belonging to Steve Sky, and his teammate is Stu Skinner. So they're currently sitting right now in P3 in the championship, 6 points behind ZR boys, who aren't racing today. So there's a 36 points for first, 30 for second, 26 for third, and then so on and so on in 2-point increments going further and further down. So they're looking good right now to take out P2 in the championship for Pro-Am. Still an hour to go, hour and 1 minute in fact. So plenty to play out in the final round of winter season number 2. The finale, round 7, here at a very, very wet Barcelona. A track that you would more often think of being a nice warm place rather than wet as we find it right now. And looking at staying that way for probably the majority of this race, at least another 30 minutes according to my forecast. So the number 16 Audi, I don't think it's in too many dramas right now. Oh, Matt Arantz has gone around. Where is that? Oh, that's try and get a replay. Here we go. That was at 14 and 15, I think. Still got that left-hand indicator blinking. Oh, that was at 13 there, just before the chicane. So, oh, what's happening here with Pinkston? We're back to live pictures here. Not sure what was happening with him. He looks like he's all right for now. Vincent behind Chris Rise. Possibly I've seen Sean Vincent racing in an Aston Martin in this series, but here he is in a McLaren. So he's down there in P11 right now. He's chasing down Chris Rise, Matt Devine, and Steve Sky. Stu Skinner is his teammate. Let's see how that came about. This is a replay. Oh, the Audi just getting a bit out of shape there under brakes. I think that was into 6 or turn 5. That was in turn 5. And then trying to fight back. We're about to go back to live pictures right now. Here we are. So that's the number 16 Audi, currently sitting P16 ITR. It's a much easier way of describing the team name after other than the mouthful of International Treaty of Racing. So Smith will be wanting to try and reclaim P4. Jimmy doing a nice job here. Very, very solid drive from him right now. Qualified the car up nice and high. And putting in a really, really solid effort the first half an hour. So Brad Lee will take it for the second stint. As we've gone through the first third of the race already. Time just flying by. As Smith unable to get past the 16 Audi down the front straight into turn 1. Vincent, though, manages to get past Chris Rise. That's out of 10 and 11. Let's see how that came about. Here we go. It's the replay. Looks like Rice just ran a little bit too deep there at turn 10. And that just opened up the door for Sean Vincent. And he was more than happy to walk through. So he takes that spot away from Rice, who finds himself in P11 in the number 9 Lamborghini. We'll get back to this scrap here, though. We've seen this for the majority of the race. This has been where the action is in 4th, 5th and 6th. So 4th is Devine in the 16 Audi. 5th is the number 99 Aston Martin, and the number 69 Aston Martin following, with I'm Not Jimmy in there right now. I'm certainly not Jimmy, I'm Nick. I hope you're enjoying the stream as well. I see a number of likes in there as well, so appreciate the likes. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, it doesn't cost you anything. There's plenty of action. There's Pan Am racing, there's console racing for Race on Oz. There's predominantly Race on Oz channels. The PC League is going to be up and running again, I think on the 13th of February. So not this Monday coming, but the Monday after. It's going to be plenty of action. And then also the console league kicking off again, I think on the 19th, so 6 days later, which will be another cracker. I think they're doing 7 races this season. I should know. I'm going to race in it this season. That's exciting. Here we go. But let's have a look at the action here. This is Smith just unable to get past the number 16 Audi. Just having a look at the speed track time. So 256 kilometres is the fastest so far. That's Jimmy and Kenneth Smith. So the Astons have a small advantage, about 2 kilometres compared to the Audis being clocked at 254 kilometres. So, and the Lexus and the Honda being able to hold themselves pretty high regard as well. Kenneth Smith, the 99 Aston Martin, they did start 3 spots lower. Steve Sky, can't wait till Stu Skinner gets in the car, then I'm going to get it right every time. They're up 9 spots, so they started in P12. So they're one of only 3 cars that have risen spots. Chris Rise is the other one. Everyone else except Devine, Retro Coffin and Berea, they're all currently find themselves where they started. All the other cars have dropped positions. The number 14 Lexus has been the one who's dropped the furthest, so they started 3rd. They find themselves in 7th spot right now. And they're a fair way off this battle right here for 4th, 5th and 6th. About 22 seconds, in fact, the gap between the number 14 Lexus and I'm Not Jimmy in the Aston Martin. You can follow that all along on the left-hand side of your screen there. You don't necessarily need me to tell that to you. As Jimmy going to try and get a little bit of a tow, but to no avail. Don't necessarily want to sit in the spray. tunnel straight down there, but he does anyway. Let's have a look at lap times between those two. So a 57.1 to Kenneth Smith on that last lap. A 56.8 to Jimmy. So he was faster in the car in front of both of these guys. The number 16 Audi for ITR. 56.4. Just to give a bit of a comparison, the last lap around for our leader, Stefano Barea, was a 55.2. So he is currently sitting 13 seconds ahead of the 911 Porsche, who did a 56.3. So more than a second the difference on that last lap between the 777 Honda and the 911 Porsche belonging to Retro Coffin. So the championship is looking very, very safe right now for Stefano Barea and his teammate there, Carlos Rivadeneira. If I pronounce that right, it's always a bit of a tongue twister, that one. But over 35 minutes gone. Arantz and Flores. I think Flores had a little bit of an issue. Let's see what's happened here. Oh, he's got picked up some damage as well, or maybe that's from the earlier one. That's into turn 10. No, turn 7, sorry. My mistake. Turn 7, and that's why Arantz was able to skip through there without any dramas. As we go back to live pictures right now. And we're still following along with these two. I think on the next lap around, we'll do a lap with Stefano Barea. We'll give everyone a bit of an idea on what he's doing to be a second faster than the next car. In the meantime, we'll stick with these two. So gaps now starting to spread out. So it's 1 second the difference between Devine and Kenneth Smith. It's 1 second further back to Jimmy. But then a lot of the other margins are starting to blow out. 3 seconds plus between everyone else. So the field really spread out. 13 cars in the field, which is obviously that's going to be a byproduct of having the number of cars that we do. But every car has 2 drivers. That's 26. So you get 26 people into a server on a Northern Hemisphere Saturday night. I think it's a pretty good effort. There we go. 777. Let's go on board. Let's do a lap around Barcelona. So we'll just pick that up there. The pit window has opened. I think that Barea lap there, you can see, just being nice and gentle with the car, not running too wide, especially into turn 1. Didn't have a lot of understeer into turn 3, just keeping off the curves where he had to. He had a little mistake there into turn 10, but just being quite cautious and keeping it nice and smooth. That lap was a 1:55.250, and Chris Rise in the number 9 Lamborghini, he is going to take advantage of the pit window opening. So that's our first driver to come into the pits. Christopher Shuffler down there in P13 gives way there to Pinkston, who's making his way into the pits as well. So that's the second car to make their way into the pit stops, take advantage of that pit window opening right now. So it is a 10-minute pit sorry. It's a 10-minute pit window. So driver swaps will happen. This is Lud Flores. Just after that mistake we saw him make it turn 7. And I reckon he's probably going to take advantage. Oh, Arantz runs a little bit wide at 16. And he's able to slip that number 14 Lexus through up into P7. So nice work from him. So 8 minutes and 15 odd seconds remaining in the pit window. Drivers that have made the change. Chris Rise, he should have given that over to Eric Lloyd. We'll probably see the name come up once they get through the first sector. So we'll see that change over. But in the meantime, we'll follow along with the number 69 Aston Martin. I'm Not Jimmy. As Vincent making his way into the pits. We're back to a more traditional length pit rather than last round in Spa, where it just tends to go forever. No such issues here. So Vincent is in there right now. We'll keep an eye on pit stops. So having a look here, Lloyd, the number 9 Lamborghini, was in there for about a minute and a half. The 44 Aston Martin just a tick over a minute. The Ferrari a minute 10, a minute 11. So that's gives us a bit of an idea on what the par time is around here. I reckon that 14 Lexus though might be in there for a little bit longer than that, considering the that bonnet flapping around, the damage they're going to have to repair. Maybe also this car here, Devine, the number 16 Audi for ITR. Nathan Wilson will be jumping in that very, very shortly, within the next 6.5 minutes at least. And Arantz is in there, so is Lud Flores. So pit stops all starting to happen. Vincent's still in there as well. How long has he been in there for? Let's have a quick look here. Significant amount of time right now, a minute 45 and counting. Here's Flores. He hits his marks. Matt Arantz coming through. It's always a little bit tricky when there's other cars in the pit lane. You need to find your box and get through and hit your mark as well. You don't want to have to reverse the car up. But looks like they're all sorted. Pretty experienced campaigners as well. So all just par for the course for them right now. Barrea last lap was a 1:54.8. So I think he's obviously very conscious of that pit window and just wanting to eke out as much as he can from the car, pushing it to its maximum limits. Once again, a second clear of P2, 54.8 to a 55.9. So absolutely flying with that pace given the conditions. Pit window closing in just a tick over 5 minutes. And we still have a lot of cars who need to make their stops. There was an Aston Martin just getting out of the way there. That's Matt Arantz making his way out of the pits as well. But here's I'm Not Jimmy. This is a real cluster of cars here. So some cars coming out of pit lane. It's a pretty easy going pit lane. You're not coming out directly into traffic. And this is going to be for position, I think. No. So he's got a Ranch in the 123 Honda behind him. Have to wait for the time screen to figure itself out. But Jimmy in that 69 Aston Martin still following Kenneth Smith, so in 5th and 6th respectively to those two. Oh, Jimmy runs a little bit deep. And that's that Aston Martin up ahead, that Shuffler in the number 44, green and black Aston Martin. So he's just getting out of the way as Gage Gonzalez is in the car now in the 123 Honda. Drew Stanley's in the pit, so this is going to be 4 position. Jimmy probably not really going to give up much of a fight here. As Gonzalez gets a little bit wide on that green AstroTurf. Very, very slippery in these conditions. I mentioned in the earlier in the pre-race that can be an action point on the circuit. We've gone over halfway. Rain looks like it's going to persist for the remainder of the race. Could possibly dry out right at the end, but right now my weather is saying for at least the next 30 minutes of the 43 are going to be wet as Kenneth Smith makes his way into the pits. Jimmy is going to continue on. That pit window starting to close down further and further as Shuffler makes his way in there as well. Rustin comes through. He's new in the 14 Lexus, so he's cleared his stop. And that's Drew Stanley. That's 4th position as Rustin manages to slip around the outside there. So that's good enough for P8 right now for the number 14 Lexus. Nice work from those guys. They're still wanting to obviously make their way in the championship. They're only 4 points behind the number 69 Aston Martin and 8 points behind the 111 Honda, which is the car that they just passed, which has John Rohrer in there right now. I think Sean Vincent finally out of the pits. That was a very, very, very long pit stop. 5 minutes and 25 seconds, in fact, and he's had an issue straight away at turn 1. Not too sure what's happening with him there. That looks like it could possibly be terminal at this stage. So drivers still to pit with just under 2 minutes remaining in the pit window. Our leader is not one of them because he is in there right now. So Coffin, Sky, Devine and Jimmy, as well as Sig, are the final drivers who are yet to pit. But this is Berea, and P2 is coming into the pits now as well. So P1 and 2 pitting. Will we see Steve Sky potentially come through? No, he won't. He is going to pit as well. And what's Devine going to do? He's going to come into the pits too, as well as Jimmy. So that's Gage Gonzalez there. So that gives you a bit of an idea. He is going to vault up into the race lead, I believe. And he's pitted as well. So this is... So it looks like the early stop has... Yeah, Gage Gonzalez is going to move all the way up into P1 once the timing screen gets itself all sorted. Stefano Berea has stepped out of the car. River De Niro will jump in there. He is. So the 777. Everyone else getting away. Let's just have a look at pit times. What did the 123 do? A minute 22. So it was in there for a fair while. The 777 did a 107. The 911 did a 108. The 194 has done a 104. The 16 Audi should be moving on very, very shortly, as should the 69 Aston Martin. They're 105 and counting. So a little bit longer for those guys. Pit window is closed, and Damien Sig is currently out there right now. And he's missed the pit window. So, not too sure what's happened with those guys. He's in there with his teammate. That's Graham Pinkston. wonder if they've not completed everything to validate the pit stop there. I dare say they have, because they have pitted, I'm pretty sure. Yes, they have, once already. So, yeah, unfortunate for them. Looks like they've not completed the requirements to validate it, and they will be penalised at the end of the race. I think it's 30 seconds, I think. I can't quite recall. I know it is quite hefty, though. So, but so Gonzalez must have been a lap down there. There you go. Yep, that makes sense. Because, like, how could he have vaulted to the lead? He isn't. So this man here, riveting the error in the 777 Honda, out in front. John Cannon is now in the car in P2 for the 911 Porsche. And for the 194 Porsche, Stu Skinner. I get it right every time now. So the 194 is a Pro-Am car. Is currently sitting 6 points behind ZR Boys on 164. So the Pro-Am is still up for... P2 is still up for grabs here, with ZR Boys not racing. Neither is the 912 Porsche, but they're 38 points ahead. So even with the class victory, the 194 will fall 2 points short, unfortunately. Not quite enough to take out the division win, but ZR Boys are going to drop down into P3. Now, tired ass dads, they're battling it out with the 111 Honda. So 111 Honda is 144. Number 69, the Aston Martin. That'll have Brad Lee in there. John Cannon. What's happened, John? Let me quickly do a replay. I wasn't paying full attention there. I was trying to work out the points difference. Doing maths and streaming at the same time. Not my strong suit. Oh, he's just lost it by himself. That's a decent hit into the wall. The bonnet doesn't pop up, so he might be all right for that. Here's Nathan Wilson. He's in the car in the number 16 ITR Audi. He will have been watching the Bathurst 12 hour. He's in the southern hemisphere, so that's perfect for him. A Queenslander, I think. So perfect time zone to be watching that. He's going to do his stint and then he'll get back to watching. So he's going to have to keep his eyes forward. He's got the number 69 Aston Martin. That's Brad Lee. And he's able to just duck down the inside there and take that position into turn 10. The left-hander. Oh, looks like Brad Lee's going to fight back. This is two Aussies here. I do believe Brad Lee is Australian. I'm pretty sure he is. Don't quote me on that. I think he is. Here we go. So, Retrocoffin, he's in the chat. He's finished his stint. So, it's a tad moist out there, boys. Trying to finish ahead of number 99 and keep P3. Yeah, so... yeah, the AMR Venom Racing, number 99, Aston Martin. So, we'll try and do a little bit of a tally maybe later on, but only 36 minutes remaining in the final round of the season, round seven of the Pan Am Racing winter season, Northern Hemisphere. Although it is not winter, it has certainly felt like it in my neck of the woods. It's been very cold. It's been double Derna cold. That's how cold it's been here. Although I'm not complaining. I'm not a summer person. I prefer the cold. But the race, where it sits right now with 35.5 minutes remaining, we've got the 777 Honda, our Pro Championship leader. They are looking good right now. The car that's sitting third in the standings is the car number 911. They're 34 points behind the 123 Honda that Gage Gonzalez is in. So it's going to be very interesting to watch his charge. He's 30.8 seconds behind Rodney Falker right now. So we'll keep an eye on that as we go along. So Stu Skinner, he's in the car, sitting there in P3. Nathan Wilson for ITR and the number 16 Audi. Brad Lee that we can see on screen right now. Rodney Falker in 6th for AMR Venom Racing. So Kenneth Smith has completed the first stint there and handed over to him. Gage Gonzalez is in the 123 Honda right now. The number 14 Lexus Lud Flores has handed that over to Kenneth Ruston, who finds himself in 8th position. The 111 Honda, that's currently P4 right now in the championship, 14 points behind the 194 Porsche belonging to Stu Skinner. So we'll do a quick little update on the class standings as well in the race. Rora, Eric Lloyd is in the car now for Chris Rise, Damien Sig for Pinkston, but yeah, they've not validated their pit stop. Piasek and Vincent is in the pits again. So he had a 5-minute pit stop before, and he's been in there for 8. So I dare say that might be his day done. In 13th position for now. So, in terms of classes, so the 777, the 911 Porsche, and the ITR number 16 Audi, that's your podium right there. For silver, it's the 194 Porsche, the number 69 Aston Martin, it's on the screen now, and the number 14 Lexus Kenneth Ruston. So, John Rohrer, hey, he's doing some donuts right now at 14th and 15. Quickly see how he found himself there. Drew Stanley's recently handed this car over. He wouldn't be too long after just getting himself all sorted out. He's come back and found that. So, John Rohrer just acclimatising himself to the conditions right now. Just got the better of him for now, but he'll come back and he'll work it out for the remaining 32.5 minutes left in this one. But it is this man here. Well, this car, in fact, the 777 Honda, cruising. 28 seconds is the gap between him and P2. Last lap around, a 54.6 to a 56.8. Now, the man that we should keep an eye on here, well, the car, in fact, is the 123 Honda. This is Gage Gonzalez. He's currently 26 seconds behind Rodney Felker. Felker is only 6.1 seconds behind Brad Lee, who's 1.8 seconds behind Nathan Wilson. Now, why I bring this up is that those 3 cars in front, the fastest time of those 3 cars was the number 16 Audi for ITR. It's a 56.392. Now, this man here has just done the fastest lap of the race. A 54 flat. Gage Gonzalez. So we know this man's reputation. He is quick. Any which way you want to cut it, slice it, dice it, this man is fast. So he's fresh in the car. He's got 31 minutes and 18 seconds to slide in the car there through turn 2. Wouldn't mind going on board and having a look at how this guy's going. And it's going to rain all the way to the end of this one. And so, yeah, he did the fastest lap of the race. That's about 2.5 seconds quicker than any other car in the field, bar the 777 Honda that did a 54.825 on that last lap. So Gage Gonzalez has not been in there for very long at all, but has already made his mark on this race with the fastest lap of the race on that previous one around, and he'll be looking to continue to just get faster and faster and faster. The gap is 24.5 seconds and continuing to fall between him and the number 99 Aston Martin belonging to Rodney Felker right now for AMR Venom Racing. And he's hunting down Brad Lee in the number 69 Aston Martin as well. So his teammate, I'm Not Jimmy, who raced the first stint, he's taken over for right now. There he is. Well, there's Jimmy. Jimmy's always on board. You can see him there on the front and the side and the rear of the car, in fact, as well. So he's always with us. But yeah, this is Bradley. He's 2.7 seconds off from this man here, Nathan Wilson, as Gage Gonzalez goes faster again. So he obliterates that time by almost a second. I wonder if the track is... It says that it is raining still. The track is wet. And maybe this man is just that fast, and I'm thinking maybe the track is drying out. A 1:53.272. So the gap is 23 seconds now between him and Rodney Falker. Still massive gap, but Falco might just start to see, might just have a peek at the times, and you'll see that gap just decreasing ever so slightly, and then he could end up making a mistake and really opening up the door for this man here to walk through. So they're currently sitting in P2 in the championship. John Cannon, the number 911 Porsche, they're in second. So their car 123 is on 184 points. Car 911 is on 150, so 34 points the difference. It would take a miracle for the 911 Porsche to vault the car 123 Honda. Just have to wait and see. Only 28 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in this one. It's been a pretty entertaining race. It's rained throughout, but that hasn't dampened the action though. It's been pretty good. Only 13 cars though on such a spread out circuit, so field is very spread out right now after those pit stops. So we'll just hunt around to see if I can see any action at all. Might give us an opportunity to have a look at championship points, especially for the lower positions in the standings right now. Well, the mid to lower anyway. So AMR Venom Racing, this is car number 99. They're 146 points. They're only 4 points off the 911 Porsche. So they're going to have a little bit of trouble overtaking them. The number 16 Aston Martin, Audi though, for ITR, they're on 128 points. They're 18 points behind the number 99. So that does make it a little bit difficult for them. I don't think they're going to finish high enough to overtake the 99 Aston Martin, but they'll be on track for a top 5 finish in the championship. Car number 25, I don't believe is racing today, so there's no issue from the back there. The number 9 Lamborghini, Lloyd Competizione, 116 points in 7th position. So they'll definitely vault the Fusion Racing number 25. Or is there 2 Fusion Racings? Anyway, the number 25, which is not racing today. And ZR Boys in the number 720, they're not racing either, so and neither is the 424. So really the only sort of championship sort of movements that we could have today would be around the 99 AMR Venom Racing and the ITR Audi. So we still need to finish. We still have 26 minutes remaining. And that 911 Porsche is doing the job right now to hold on to P3 in the championship. But as I was saying, the gap now between Gonzalez and Falker, the car on screen, is down to 19 seconds. Gage Gonzalez, a 1:53.3. So that is another, that is not the fastest lap. The lap before was the fastest. A 53.1. So he's absolutely pushing like crazy right now. No other car on the circuit is anywhere near the pace that he's hitting right now. Only car in the 53s by an absolute mile. The only other car that came close was a 54. A 54.1 was just done by the 777 Honda. Let's see what Gonzalez does on this one. Still a little while to go, so we'll keep an eye on that towards the end of this one. And Ruston, the 14 Lexus. Let's see what's happened here. So going into turn 1, I think that bonnet was still flapping around. Yeah, it is. So they haven't repaired the damage And that could be a symptom of that, given the handling wouldn't be particularly great in dry conditions, let alone full wet conditions. So track temperature still 30 degrees, air temperature's 25. We're going to see rain all the way until the end. I think these guys have handled it pretty well, though, to be fair. Let's see what Gonzalez does on this lap around. 53.1 is the fastest lap of the race. His last was a 53.3. And on this lap, he does a 52.8. So he's cutting down that lead hand over fist now. 17.2 seconds. 0.3, sorry. The 2 now. There we go. The difference between Gonzalez and Falca. Right here. We'll keep an eye closely on the car number 123 Honda. We're having a look at Rodney Falca, car number 99, AMR Aston Martin. He's chasing down Brad Lee. Last time around, Brad Lee in the number 69 Aston, he did a 156.4. Falca did a 55.265, so 1.2 seconds faster on that last lap. So Brad Lee just wanting to trying to increase that pace ever so slightly, given the conditions. That's quite a challenge. They've done really well today, though, for those guys. So, in terms of, they started 5th, they are 5th. You know, you can't be too unhappy with that. Falca started 8th. The 99 Aston Martin currently finds himself in P6. The big rises, though, is the 194 Porsche, up 9 spots from where they originally started. So, on for a podium right now and a class win. You can't really be too upset with that. The difference between those two, between Stu Skinner and Nathan Wilson in the number 16 Audi for ITR, just keep an eye on those lap times, because the last time around, Skinner did a 57.7. and Wilson did a 56.6. So that's just the difference between those two right now. So we'll see if that car number 194 can hold on for a podium. And they're looking pretty good right now for a class victory, as Falca starting to close up ever closer to the number 69 Aston Martin. Bright pink, you can't miss it. There it is, right there. Might have a look from the rear of it. So the gap's well under a second now, as Falca just runs a little bit deep through turn 7. But a 55.4 to Bradley, a 54.5 to Falca. So gives you an idea on the pace between these two. And Bradley will be very, very well aware of Falca looming very large in the background. We saw a glimpse of the number 16 ITR Audi. And Gonzalez is only 14 seconds down the road from these guys. He did a 52.837 the last lap around. The only driver that got really close to that was a 53.7 from car 777 Riviera in the Honda there. So Gonzalez on the charge, 20 and a half minutes left to go. Chris Rise in the chat there. Lloyd about to catch Ruston by the end of this. I binned it in my first stint on the curb. A big oof to you. So you did all right, though. Eric Lloyd is currently sitting P9 right now in the Lamborghini that Chris Rise got out of earlier on. But right now, we're looking from the rear of the number 69 Aston Martin. That's Brad Lee. He's got the AMR Venom Aston Martin behind him with Rodney Falca at the controls. They're battling it out for P5 and P6. In terms of class positions, though, the 69 Aston Martin doing quite well. P2 in their class, Pro-Am. So looking pretty good at this stage. P3 is Ruston down in 8th overall. So it might be a bit of a challenge for them in the Lexus given the condition of it. As we saw earlier, they didn't repair the damage at the last pit stop, so it's going to be a bit of a handful for the next 19 and a half minutes for Ruston. But in the meantime though, we're going to sit with these two. Gonzalez is only now 13 seconds down the road as Falca going to send it there into turn 10. That's a pretty common place for overtaking, and that was real textbook stuff, so he does that pretty comfortably in the end there. Bradley didn't scrap too hard. I don't think he really had too much choice there. Falca had shown that he had a significant pace advantage, and that was the perfect illustration of it. So Falca will be on his way. He's 1.6 seconds down the road from the number 16 Audi belonging to ITR. It's Nathan Wilson piloting that at the moment. The only Audi, in fact, in the field, and we've lost one. I think we've lost Vincent and whoever his teammate is. They were having quite a tough time of it. So we're down to 12. We've still got action on the track, and we'll keep an eye on Gage Gonzalez. Did a 53.8 on that last lap. It was invalidated though. He's got a red cross next to his name, so he's cut a corner somewhere. Invalidated that lap. We're only 12 seconds down. Here's Eric Lloyd. So Chris Rise was in the chat earlier on. He'll be watching his teammate, cheering him on right now. Where are they in the championship? They are currently car number 9. Where are you? Should be easy to find. Oh, there they go. They're 7th. So they will vault over car number 25 because they're not racing today. It's only 4 points the difference between those two. And they were 12 points behind the ITR number 16 Audi, who, fair to say, have had a pretty good season, I have to admit. Not hard to admit. I'm not swallowing any pride or anything there. I think they started off a little bit slower. And I know Nathan Wilson is still relatively new to PC racing, so he's handled himself quite well. And also, Matt Devine is no slouch either. So, yeah, I think those two, as the season has gone on, they've just gotten a bit better and a bit better every week. And I know they had a rough week last round, sorry. But yeah, they're doing really well. They're 3rd in class right now, 4th outright. And they've got Stu Skinner ahead, 8 seconds the difference. And the last lap around, Wilson was 8/10 faster than Skinner. So that's going to go right down to the wire. That is Ruston just running wide at turn 7. We've seen a few guys doing that today, and that just opens up the door. We might just see how that did eventuate. Oh, where are we? Hang on. There it is. So he's run deep off the circuit, and off she goes. So yeah, that 14 I think is going to be long, however long we've got left. It's going to feel like a lot longer than what it actually is. In the meantime though, I was talking about Wilson trying to make up ground on Skinner. Well, he needs to keep an eye on his rearview mirror, because he's got Rodney Falca right now for AMR Venom Racing, that number 99 Aston Martin. He is all over the back of Wilson right now. As we're on board, watching from the rear of that Audi, under brakes into turn 10. Rodney Falca will just be biding his time right now, just waiting for his moment to strike. We'll have a look on lap times. Last time around, a 54.2 to a 55 flat advantage Falca. We'll see what it is this time around. See if that Aston Martin can get a nice run out of turn 16 as he goes through 14. Out of 15. Here we go. Oh, and that Audi, he's just trying to get a little bit of a tow there from Piasek in the number 44 Aston Martin, just doing everything he possibly can. In the background, that's Brad Lee, and he's battling it out with Damien Sig, but Sig is down in 11th spot, and they're going to get a penalty at the end of this one for not completing the required components of the pit stop. So for whatever reason, that didn't work out for them. And in terms of lap times, this man on screen did a 55.540. Wilson did a 55.682. So slight advantage to Felker. The gap is at a second. It's not going to be enough to catch him right now. We're in the final quarter hour of it as well. So Season 2, winter season, is 13 minutes and 50 odd seconds away from being completed and in the books. And this man here, Felker, looking to round it out with a top 4 position, try and get a podium in class. So a lot to play for between Wilson and Felker. Gage Gonzalez is only 5 seconds down the road. 8 seconds, in fact, between these guys as well as Bradley in there. So this is going to be super interesting to close out the race here. They've all, the accordion has started to all squish up again. And this is when gaps and chances seem to be a lot bigger and a lot brighter than they actually are. See a lot of fool's gold at this stage of the race. Not all that glitters is gold. So you do see some mistakes. You see Piasek just struggling through the chicane there, that was Bradley and Sig, but Sig, like I said, he's in there P11, Bradley's P6 right now. Back to this scrap here though, between Wilson and Felker. Last lap around is only a tenth the difference between them. Felker, the slight advantage, a 55.207 versus a 307 to Wilson. So this is good stuff to close out Season 2 Winter League. I know Pan Am's got a 24-hour race around this circuit coming up in the not too distant future. So this would be good practice for anyone participating in that. Good luck to you. 24-hour race. That is that's a big effort. We've seen the Daytona last week in the real life. The week before that, the virtual race. Seems like those virtual races as well. Every time there's one, Spa there was controversy. Daytona there was controversy in terms of people perhaps bending the rules or finding a loophole in them. Obviously a different platform, iRacing, a little bit different than what we're watching on ACC, but not suggesting anything like that would happen here, but yeah, it just seems to be a common theme coming out of them. Hopefully there's no server crashes and it can last the full 24 hours. But we've got 11 minutes and 20 seconds left. Rodney Felker chasing down Nathan Wilson in the number 16 Audi for ITR. There is a podium on the line here for the class for Pro. They've got Stu Skinner about 7 seconds up the road. So I wonder if they might even be able to catch him and get a third outright for ITR. I think that'd be a very fitting way for them to finish the season. Not saying it would be any less fitting for the number 99 Aston Martin. I think they both warrant it. So we'll see who is the better of the two to try and take it out. As they're heading through to begin another lap. Lap times that time around a 55.4 to Wilson, a 55.2 to Felker. So a couple of tenths. The difference is 3 tenths right now. So they're coming through turn 4. Felker closing right up under brakes there on the 16 Audi. This is great stuff. Lights ablaze. The reflection off the road looks awesome. Final 10 minutes of the season. This is it. Fighting for a podium in class. Potentially a podium outright. Gage Gonzalez. Could he throw a bit of a spanner in the works? He's about 4.5, maybe 5 seconds up the road from these guys. go to him right now. That's not the right camera angle. This is the right camera angle though. He's 1.2 seconds behind. Just want to try and get it if he doesn't make the overtake. Falca and Wilson continue to battle it out. That's Sig in the Ferrari. He's down in 11th. He's finding himself in a bit of lap traffic right now. That's okay. Let's car 1, 2, 3 ahead. And then it's just Brad Lee who's next in the sights of Gage Gonzalez, who did a fastest lap of the race last lap around, a 52.6. So the longer this race goes, the faster this man gets. Absolutely flying right now. And he's got the number 69 Aston Martin. See if there's any action between these two up the front straight. Turn 1's are usually a hot spot for overtakes. Falca not really having the advantage there in any way, shape or form. Gonzalez not able to get the job done there either. So that last lap around he did a 53.5. Bradley did a 54.7. So he's definitely got the pace advantage. But he's got the pace advantage over everyone right now. Gage Gonzalez, as we're flicking in between Falca and Wilson versus Bradley and Gonzalez. Here we go, Falca closing right up on the Aston Martin now, going into turn 5. This is great stuff. Nathan Wilson fighting for that podium position in class, 4th outright. This might work out really well for Stu Skinner, who's in 3rd outright in the race. Gonzalez gets the job done. We'll go back to that in a moment. But I'll try and pick up the replay. Here it is. So this is through 5, just goes around the outside. I reckon Bradley just giving that up nicely. Nice work, Bradley. That's him through the faster car. And we're back to live action right now. Here we are. Oh, look at this. And what a great time to go back to live action. Oh, they make collision. They make contact. Oh, let's have a look at how that all transpired. We got back right as it was happening. So this is turn 10. Wilson, I don't know if he ran a little bit deep. Falca got great traction. A little bit of a hip and shoulder. Goes onto the grass. Almost clips him from behind. Then another hip and shoulder. And he loses out this time. So Nathan Wilson, buy yourself a lottery ticket because you are so lucky not to go around there as well. And unfortunately for this, the luck has run out for Rodney Falca and the 99 Aston Martin. They're down in P7. So they've dropped a couple of spots there from battling it out for a potential podium in class, down into 7th right now and out of the podium positions. Now this man here, Gonzalez, he's all over the back of Wilson. He's just managed to fend off Falca for now. And all of a sudden he's got 6.5 minutes to keep Gage Gonzalez from behind him, who's absolutely flying with a 52.795 on that last lap around. They're going through turn 4 right now. The long right-hander, Wilson's going to have to defend for his life right here, and he's doing that. This is going to be great stuff. Can the Aussie, can he keep him behind? Or is Gage Gonzalez going to manage to find a way past? Going to go through turn 6. Going to go up the inside into turn 7. The left-hander has the inside run. And nice work from Gage Gonzalez, who does now move himself into a podium position in class. Can he take a podium position, in fact, outright? Stu Skinner is 8 seconds up the road. We've got 5 minutes and 50 seconds left. Last lap around, a 55.6 to Skinner, a 52.7 to Gonzalez. So all of a sudden, we've had this big burst of action happen right at the very end. Like I said, desperate times. It comes to the closing minutes of any race, but let alone the last race of the season. Plenty on the line still. But can Gonzalez hunt down Skinner for an outright P3? Can Skinner hold on? 5 minutes 20. We'll have a look at lap times when they go around. The 194 Porsche hits the line at 56.6. What's Gonzalez going to do here? I think he's going to go a little bit quicker than that. He does at 55 flat. So 1.6 seconds the gap in pace on that last lap around. It's 7 seconds between the two of the cars on the circuit. 5 minutes left. The race, in terms of who's winning, it's pretty much Hasn't been much of a contest all day. It's still that 777 Honda. Rivadeneira out in front. John Cannon in the 911 Porsche. He's in P2. The gap's 44 seconds. It's 24 seconds the gap between Stu Skinner and John Cannon. So P1 and P2 are wrapped up right now. 4.5 minutes though left. This man on screen pushing as hard as he possibly can. 6.3, 6.2, 6.1. 6 seconds now is the gap between him and Skinner. It is coming down hand over fist right now. Just a tick over 4 minutes left. How many laps are going to be left? That's what's going to be the big question here. Will there be enough to get it done, or is he just going to miss out on third outright? Still sitting third in class. Brad Lee, he's chasing down the ITR Audi number 16, Nathan Wilson, in there as well. He had a couple of hip and shoulders there with Rodney Felker. Maybe they might have a bit of a chat with each other after the race there. Didn't look like there was anything particularly malicious between the two. I think it was just good, hard racing. Sometimes you just get that. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. And in the closing stages, this is good stuff. Gonzalez, the gap is 4.6 seconds. Only 1.2 seconds between Brad Lee and Nathan Wilson. 3 minutes and 15 left. They've been lapping in the 1:53, 54. I wonder if we get 2 laps left maybe. Where's the 777? Just coming through turn 12 now. I reckon there's probably about 2 laps left at this stage. So Gonzalez, 3.8 seconds now is the gap. Just ducked out to 3.9. So, and holding. Last lap around at 55.4 to Stu Skinner. A 52.9 to Gonzalez. His pace is still intense right now. Brad Lee, he's all over the back of Nathan Wilson. Wouldn't the number 69 Aston Martin love a top 5 finish for the last race of the year? I'm sure Jimmy will be cheering him on. If they're in a chat or not, I'm not too sure. But Brad Lee, last lap around at 55.2 to a 55.3 to Nathan Wilson. Can he hold on for the number 16 Audi? This man here, 3 seconds is the gap between Gonzalez and Skinner, 3.2. We'll see what his pace is like in comparison. There he goes. He can actually see the Porsche. You can see a glimpse of it. There's the Rabbit just up ahead. Got to chase it down now. Probably going to have 2 laps to do it, I would think. Stu Skinner, this is big pressure. Can he hold on? Can he take out a P3 outright and the class win? Can he hold on? Let's see what the lap times are. Oh, Gonzalez gets a big snap of oversteer coming out of the final turn. You can even get that in the dry, let alone the wet. At 55.1 to Stu Skinner, at 52.4 to Gonzalez. The gap is 2 seconds. They've probably got a couple of laps left. I haven't heard the last lap sign, last lap signal yet. Where is the 777? Just coming through 14 and 15 now. So I reckon we'll get it any moment. He's just coming through 16. We'll probably hear it any moment now once he crosses the line.
Leader's on final lap now.
There it is. Leader is on the final lap. So car 777. This is pretty much a victory lap for them. This will cement their championship. In the meantime, car number 123, second in the championship. They're battling it out with the 911 Porsche, which I think, unfortunately for them, despite their efforts today, not going to be able to vault up into P2 in the championship. They will, however, keep the number 99 Aston Martin behind them in 4th. So to take P3 home in the championship is certainly nothing to be sneezed at. So still a good feat from them and a good season. Gonzalez still charging hard. He's got Stu Skinner right here as they come through turn 12, right in his sights now. There he is. He can see him quite easily. A little bit of oversteer. It's the back end just wanting to step out. That's how hard he's pushing right now. They'll still get one lap after this one. Oh, and there it is. There is the change of position. So Gonzalez does it. Moves up into P3 outright. P3 in class as well. That drops Skinner back into 4th. But they're still going to take out a class victory though. So that's nothing to be sneezed at either. So great effort from car number 194. But it's been all about the car 777. They're the leaders in the championship. They have not put a foot wrong at all race. So Berea put in the first stint. Absolutely blistering stint. Set it up. And Rivadeneira stepped into the car and was able to take it home. And he's done a cracking job of it. He's going to come through the final turn. The final race of the season. Car 777 takes victory. Congratulations. Round 7, Season 2 victor goes to car 777, as does the championship overall. Well done to both of those guys, to Berea and Rivadeneira. Great job, great season from those two. Definitely been the class. Oh, this is John Cannon. Whoa, hang on, what's happened here? So that was 20 odd seconds to Gonzalez. Yeah, he's got a buffer there, so that's all right. Drama on the last lap there at turn 10 for John Cannon in the 911 Porsche. They're third in the championship. That's where they're both going to stay. So him and Retro Coffin, once again, a great season from them. Coffin had the cracking drive at the Hungaroring this season as well. Was the class of the field. And there they go. They take home P2. Congratulations to John Cannon and Retro Coffin for second in the race, third in the championship. And now it's just going to be the mirror image now. So Gage Gonzalez and Matt Arantz, they're going to come home, take third outright. They will take home P2 in the championship for car number 123 Honda. So he comes across the line, quite happy with himself. Gage Gonzalez, the storming drive in that stint, absolutely flying, kept on setting fastest laps, lap after lap, but not quite enough. Stu Skinner and Steve Sky, they take home victory in the class. 4th in class at 5th on the road is the ITR Audi. 2nd in class, I'm Not Jimmy and Bradley. Great drive from Bradley there to hold on to it, to get it home. Rodney Felker and Kenneth Smith in the AMR Aston Martin in 7th. 8th, Chris Rise and Eric Lloyd. 9th, Lud Flores and Curtis Ruston. 10th, Drew Stanley and John Rohrer. 11th, Damien Sig and Graham Pinkston. And that's Joshua Piasek with some fireworks over the line there with Christopher Shuffler, P12, our AM champions. But the podium for Pro is Rivadeneira, so 777, 911, 123. And then the 194 Porsche, Jimmy and Bradley, and who was the other one? Kenneth, the Lexus, Lud Flores and Kenneth Ruston for the silver of the Pro Am division. All right, well, that was fun. That was a good season. That was a lot of fun. But congratulations to the season champions, the race winners today. 777 were a class above everyone else, but that 911 Porsche certainly put in a great effort, and Gage Gonzalez and Matt Arantz towards the end there as well. Another class drive from Gage Gonzalez. And obviously Steve Skinner and Stu Skinner and Steve Scott, I've got that wrong all day, take out the victory in class as well. So great work to them. Great work to everyone as well. I've thoroughly enjoyed my Sundays commentating this. So thanks to everyone at Pan Am who organised to put all of this on as well. Thanks for the opportunity to be able to stream it. I certainly enjoy it every week. It's always great racing. Looking forward to doing it further in the future. But that wraps it up for Season 2 in the books. That was Round 7, Barcelona. I hope you all enjoy the remainder of your weekend. Stay safe, take care of each other. My name's Nick. This has been Season 2, Winter